open up. You OPN, bitch, you won't BBM.
Today's home workout, you will feel in your entire body, but about 60% of the workout's gonna be dedicated to those muscles involved in all our pushing movements. So, equipment that you may find useful if you have it at your disposal. Have a kettlebell, dumbbell, any kind of added weight would help you. Obviously, I always recommend a roller, and of course, resistance bands are amazing. Don't worry if you don't have one or more of these items, they're interchangeable in the workouts. The style we're going to go about this workout is we're going to go from isolation movements in our warm-up to compound movements in our warm-up. Stick with that compound movement, working multiple muscle groups, into isolation towards the end of our workout. First part of our warm-up, we're doing external rotations. Make sure the anchor point is at or around about elbow height. I have mine on a door. And towards the end of this, you'll see how I have it rigged up. But notice I'm pointing that thumb towards the outside, elbows locked in nice and tight, shoulder blade retracted. Keep the same grip on the hand and make a flawless transition towards internal rotation of that shoulder. And what we're doing with both these movements, internal and external rotation, is warming up those deep ligaments and tendons and also those inner muscles that make up the rotator cuff. Now, if you just only want one side of the resistance band coming out, you can loop it like such, pull it tight, and then close the door. Or you can unloop it, just feed the center of the resistance band around the door handle, then make sure it doesn't get locked in there. Good, lock her in. Now you can do both internal and external rotation. Two birds, one stone. So left arm's doing external rotation, right arm's doing internal rotation in this scenario. Switch sides. Right around this time, we tend to lose our posture. Head's pointing down. We want to make sure we maintain posture. Shoulders rolled back, chin tucked in, eyes forward. Last couple reps, and I'm going to show you a way we duplicate this movement on the ground. Lace it through that anchor point, right about waist level. Where the bands are at waist level. There you go. Tuck the elbows into the side. I find this easier to keep my elbows locked in that positioning. Versus standing, you have that natural little bit of elbow float, which is natural and okay. But here, I'm able to really concentrate on just that internal humeral head rotating back and forth. Nice smooth transition into the other side for the third set here. Shoulders should be burning. You should feel a little bit of tightness. That's a good thing. We're just getting added blood flow to the muscles. Next warm-up we have is our high to low pull aparts. Start with hands above the head. Pull those down right about chest level. Pinkies down parallel to the ground. Thing you want to focus here is squeezing those scapulas back behind you. As you can see from this angle, what I'm looking for is the starting position of any kind of pressing movement. I want those shoulder blades tucked. This warm-up really helps with those posture muscles that really help you maintain good form. This part of the warm-up, we are doing a downward dog into push-up position, and then try to float your body a little more forward. Put a little more pressure onto those hands. Now, Always be mindful of your wrists. This is definitely working the mobility and stability of that joint. We're going to change the positioning of our hands, but the fingers are pointing outward, and try that. As always, guys, feel any pain, just stop, go on to the next one. If you have wrist issues, feel free to use possibly dumbbells or some kind of handled grip on the ground. That'll help you with better wrist positioning. I find also going on the knuckles helps out a lot. This underhanded grip I threw in, it's pretty advanced. You'll notice as you go back into your downward dog, you get more of a stretch on the flexors of the forearms and those biceps. Just be mindful of that, guys. And as you press forward, you're going to find a different tension on the core. Being on the hands and feet is a little much right now. That's okay. And you'll actually get a lot of the benefits of what we just did with just being on the knees. Rock back and forth. Just find that wrist mobility. Play with shifting your weight more into your upper body and less into your lower body. Always be ready to shift your weight back into your lower body if you need to ease the tension on the wrists. To finish off our warm-up, we're going to go through a movement series, going from a plank position into a tabletop. Make sure when you make that transition, the single arm that is on the ground is pushed towards the center line of your center of gravity. That way you're able to make that transition and really protract that shoulder on that transition. Feel free to do this one on your knees as well. When you're in this position, you really want to focus on squeezing those shoulder blades together and tucking the chin in. And on the transition, those glutes are engaged, helping you go through that motion. This next one is a bear, the bear. Make sure you're hitting those 90-degree angles and getting that glute flexion in your tabletop. If you have to take a couple steps in your transition, that is totally okay. I'm still working on these as well. Find this a great opener to start the day. This is good. All right, let's jump into the first exercise. Our split squat to press will require a lower anchor point, and you're gonna be like kicking your leg to where it's on your shin. You want to put the thumb into your handle first. That way the resistance band runs between your inner elbow and your side and not over the outside of your arm, causing a little bit of discomfort there. Starting with these compound movements with the focal point being push muscles involved in the compound movement allows us to get the most out of our routine initially. For example, I worked legs 2 days ago. I'm taking an inventory. How are my glutes feeling? My quads. Okay, I feel my hammy a little bit on this side. Every day you want to work the muscle in some way, shape, or form. I'm a big believer in that. All right, we just finished pushing on the upper directory. Time to go horizontal. Make sure the resistance band is at elbow level and your thumb goes inside the handle first, just like before. That way the resistance band travels between the elbow and the side. And today I'm feeling some slow punches and some fast punches. I'm working on my jab first here. Keep the other hand up. You guys don't have to do this. I train, so this is just instilled in me. I go from a jab to the cross, about 6 reps each side. Make sure you keep that elbow nice and tucked into the side. These direct shots really trigger that tricep. Yes, the chest is involved, but that tricep is definitely involved in that explosive movement. Now, after the first set, I was feeling pretty good. Let's add a little more resistance, take a couple steps forward. And I started off with my cross this time. That's okay, guys. We're just going to hit 2 sets. Jab, cross, each hand. And I'm going nice and slow, really focusing on what muscles I am using, what muscles are involved. and those secondary muscles too working. Help me maintain my posture, help sharpen and quicken my kinetic chain for my punch. I urge you guys to change up the cadence of your jabs and your crosses just to introduce a new stimulus, especially on this third set, to those muscles we've been working the past 2 sets. Please make sure if you made a couple big steps forward that you do a nice couple steps back to release. Next exercise, we're going to need to anchor this low. I'm looping around. We're in a plank to a kickback. Now look at my elbow. Make sure my elbow is above my back line, and I'm twisting and rotating that wrist down. So I'm almost pointing that thumb to the ceiling. Recommend that one for a first set. Second set, if you're feeling up for it, I recommend you go from your push-up to your kickback, push-up to your kickback, and you can start playing with levitating maybe one leg off the ground. I challenge you to try to maintain that foot off the ground as you go through this whole series of movement, from your push-up to your kickback. And eventually it gets to the point where you're keeping that leg up the entire time. Now we have our cross punch get up. Make sure you're always starting in a position where your wrist and your elbow is in front of your shoulder. That way, put your shoulder in a safe position. And your shoulder is about 45-degree angle off that corner where the anchor point is. You should feel this one in the chest. You can vary the degree in which you come off the ground. I'm going all the way onto my elbow to not on the elbow. Find your variation. Also using a kettlebell here. Doing the regular get up. Say you don't have a resistance band, then I recommend just this regular get up. Going all the way onto the elbow. Make sure you rotate that shoulder out. And always, with any get up push up you do, the first body part that moves is that lumbar spine touching the ground. As you roll up and reach straight up towards the sky. We have our straight arm pull down to our tricep pull down. We do in each hand with the straight arm pull down. Then we're switching into the tricep pull down. So make sure you really protract that shoulder in front of you. Pull down. This one's working that long head of the tricep. And we're hitting that medial head when we do these tricep pull downs. We're locking that elbow to the side and twisting that wrist at the bottom, pointing the thumb towards the body. We're going about 6 to 8 reps each side. On this, I did 8 reps for the tricep pull down and 6 reps for the straight arm pull down. Another similar way to hit these same muscles, just slightly changing our anchor point, is using our hand on the resistance band on like a dresser, and then do the same straight arm movement. Same mechanics apply. We're just changing the angle of our body and the anchor point. And notice how my elbow is against the side, and it's not necessarily pulled behind my back. I'm more working the medial head here. Good. As we finish up the last rep of our pull down there, we're going to go right into our dips. Now I have a coffee table I'm using. I'm still finding my posture. Push that chest through the shoulders. And I'm finding my position. If you move your feet farther away from you, the more weight is put into your hands. The closer the feet to you, the more weight that is put into your legs. So things to think about as you're adding and subtracting your resistance using this exercise. Now the goal here is to hit about 12 to 15 reps, no matter your variation. Now we can make a variation based on our positioning of our wrists. This is the hardest one for me. You'll find that I actually end up naturally turning my wrists more towards the outsides as I'm going through this. Another way to do this is using chairs. Now really find the center point of each chair and really make sure you're ready at any point in time to brace yourself with your legs. But notice I'm face down towards as I go down. Chest is to the chairs, and then I rise up. Crown of the head is driven towards the ceiling. This can also be done on the couch, but I find a little bit of slip factor can happen, and it's not the best for the wrist there. Yeah, exactly. So you can use a little bit of like a piece of furniture for a little more stability, and also get a little mobility of those knees in that position. Next, we have our bicep push-up. Now, elbows are scraping the sides. I am using the radial part of my palm to press into the coffee table there. This is an incline push-up, but in the bicep style. Why it's called bicep is because exactly what this motion is supersetted with is that low to high fly. When we do this, we really want to focus on getting those elbows to center line. The more we focus on those elbows to center line, the deeper the contraction will feel. And always keep an underhanded grip throughout those. Pinkies together. Another way to do those is put those handles, there's this band around the door handle like we did last time, and then press forward. Another method of doing those low to high chest flies is single arm style. You'll find it's extra taxing on the core with the anti-rotation, because the more resistance you put on that band, the more it wants that right shoulder to turn to the left shoulder. And your core is not allowing that to happen. I also find I get a little more of a focus on that one pec that I'm working, and I tend to enjoy that. I find a little more of a flexion when I isolate. This next one, I am using the handle of the resistance band, pulling it over the door, make sure I've taken the slack out, and then I close the door, lock it, make sure it doesn't open up, slam me in the face. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to think thumb in first, pull that guy across, and we're going to do our down punches. I'm in this half kneel position, and I'm twisting my body, my torso, and I'm punching down. Now this is our finisher, so I'm kind of going slow motions, then I'm going to go fast motions, but we're going to do 2 sets each side. You should really feel that right side body and oblique flexing every time you extend that right arm as you punch. Then we're going to transition smoothly into our underhanded tricep pull down. Switching the side, now we hit left arm, and we did a superset on the right arm, and we did a superset of left arm. And then we do that one more time. As we start our last set and as our finisher of the workout here, I want you to find out where you're at. Are you able to do these explosive cross down punches? Are you able to handle the intensity? Or is it a time in which, yes, we've reached a pretty good overall volume of our workout so far, so let's go nice and slow, really feel every rep. I tend to start off my sets with that, but then I find my rhythm, and I'm going to do some explosive work. These explosive movements I've added to my workout are geared to help me attain my personal goals. Your workout should always reflect what you're trying to attain with your goals. Now, if increasing your power is something that's in your goals, then having some form of explosive movement is very important for your workout. Now for our finisher part 2, it's going to be a single arm chest press to that get up. I'm using a dumbbell here. I recommend a dumbbell. Resistance band is a little bit hard here to maintain that directly upright movement. But as always, first part of the movement is that lumbar spine touching the ground, or the small of your back touching the ground. That allows you to roll into this properly. Now we're doing 10 reps per side. 10 reps per side. Now this should be relatively easy for your chest and triceps. We don't want to load it there. What we're loading is the get up part, the connection from our arm in our chest to our core body. It's always acceptable to pet your dog during your rest. Always, always, always. Gear up for your cool down. We're going to do tricep pull downs to finish off. We're going to just rep it out. We're not thinking numbers here. We're just thinking reps. Every single rep is one. One. Then we go right into these dips to tabletop style bridge movement to really put a cap on it. This allows you to open up at the very top of this movement and inhale into that at the top and exhale into that dip. Inhale back up. Very good to keep the body open, especially after we worked all the muscles to push stuff away. That tends to close us, especially the front of our body tends to concave a little bit. This movement will allow you to stay opened up while stretching all those important muscles. It's a safer way to get off there too. We'll just sit on it. Now we're on to our stretching, guys. Grab that roller, put it on the table, get a little extra stretch. Put that hand between the shoulder blades. Play with angling your body. You'll hit different parts of your tricep. Even you'll feel it in your lat as well. Change the angle of your roller to hit the chest on the side. Be switching sides. And same on the other side. Now, another way I can do this is by going to a corner of a wall. I can go about elbow and shoulder level elbow below shoulder level, and elbow above shoulder level to stretch different parts of that pec to varying degrees. You can do both arms as well. And feel free to add any other stretches. For me, I'm going back to that chest opener. This one just felt way too good just to do once or twice. I had to find myself back into it. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. Chest to the ceiling. You can go on the balls of those feet to make it a little bit easier for you. Or just drop all the way down to the ground. It's that kickback position. Then engage the glutes. That's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.